Holly. Mark Tibbetts, how does what's going on right now compare to and you've been doing this, Mark, what, over 30 years? I think you and I have been talking about this kind of thing. How does what's happening right now compare to past years and experiences you've had over there at Mount Holly?
Well, this is about the fourth time that we've had a late start on winter, Warren, in my recollection. I've been at Holly since 1979, and while I don't like them, we have had them before. This is certainly bad news right now for all the skiers and snowboarders and any winter enthusiasts in the state of Michigan.
No, and obviously it's such an important economic significant activity that takes place in our state, right?
Most certainly it is, and for ski areas, this period usually accounts for anywhere from 15 to 20% of our annual revenue in the short window we've got. But hey, if winter comes in with a vengeance, it can still be made back up, and we're eternal optimists in this business. There's no question about it.
Well, here we are sitting on this last Sunday of 2015. The temperature as we speak is 40 degrees. What temperatures do you need to make snow artificially there at Mount Holly?
Well, for a good production temperature, in other words, so that we can actually see it accumulating on the ground, 28 degrees is generally the start mark. We can make at higher temperatures with extremely low humidities, but generally speaking, around 28 is our startup time.
And I was reading a statistic that suggested that 10 inches of natural snow, when packed, usually adds only, an inch of snow to the ski slope's base?
An inch to 2 inches, depending on how dense the snow is as it falls naturally, you bet. So it kind of gives you a good picture of how much snow is actually required to allow a good condition for the skiers out there. And of course, that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we've built enough when we do build it to make the experience enjoyable.
Why is it that, say, all right, so 10 inches of snow equals maybe an inch or two. Why is it that 10 inches of man-made snow would add more to the base than the natural snow?
Well, once again, we're building a little denser snowpack. The flakes or the crystals that we are building are a little larger and perhaps a little wetter than Mother Nature's own fluff that's had the benefit of exploding through the atmosphere through hundreds and hundreds of feet. So the snow, and then we do, of course, pack it down. So, once we've made the snow that we do have, we move it around with groomers, pack it down, and groom it up. So we just look for a little bit denser product when we make it man-made.
Were you able to open when we got that 7, 8, 9, 10 inches of snow that fell last month in November?
I did, but I only did it after 2 nights of making snow on top of the natural. And we got 3 great days in, and then Thanksgiving rolled around, and we got rain in right behind that. So
when everything is ideal, Mark Tibbetts is the GM out there at Mount Holly, how many runs do you have open?
Well, we have 19 runs at Mount Holly, and we have 7 chairlifts, 2 conveyor belts, and 4 rope tows. And generally speaking, after about 2 good nights of snowmaking, we can get about half the mountain open. So, I mean, equating that, if we had 4 or 5 good cold nights in a row, it's possible that we could get the entire area open.
When you're making snow, how does that work? It looks like you got, when I'm skiing, there's a hose that looks like it's hooked up to some sort of fan that's elevated and it blows it out, but it looks like just water going into some sort of derrick. It looks like a little oil derrick or something. But how do you make snow? How does it come out snow when you're just putting water in there and when it gets to at least 28 degrees temperature?
Well, we're forcing this water through very, very tiny nozzles that are in a ring around these big barrels that you're seeing.
Right.
And that's breaking it up into a very, very fine mist molecule that we hope the air temperature will freeze before it hits the ground. On top of that, however, there is a air and water mixture molecule, sort of like frost, coming out of the center of that barrel that gives those molecules something to grab onto that is already frozen before it hits the ground.
So you're just hoping the air, tiny little particles, when it gets into the air and it's below freezing, 4 degrees below freezing at least, is then going to turn into snow. There's nothing you're adding, no chemical you're adding to that water, nothing. It's just pure water being reduced to tiny little specks, so to speak.
Well, there is a product out there that was developed originally by Kodak called Snowmax, and that is injected in parts per million where we begin the water pumping process. I mean, it's a very, very small, let's call it a particle of dirt if you want to, that is actually being put in, that was developed by Kodak many years ago for the orchard industry to give that snowflake a particle, which is, I don't know if you know about natural snowflakes, but they're actually adhered to a piece of pollution or pollen or anything it can grab in the air. There is a nucleus, what they call a nucleus, even in a natural snowflake. So we do use a product called Snowmax, and it helps the freezing process take place quicker.
Well, good luck. We're heading for a low tonight, according to our meteorological report, of around 29. Will you be out trying to make snow tonight?
We've got the guns hooked up and the crew on standby in hopes that the Detroit 29 temperature equates to a 27 or a 26 out here in Holly. So.
All right. Well, good luck. How long has Mount Holly been around, Mark?
1956.
Wow.
We're going to celebrate our 60th anniversary next season. So.
All right. Good luck with the weather. You're like farmers. Everything is predicated on what Mother Nature is giving you.
That is absolutely correct.
All right. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, having some time with the family.
That was kind of nice. That was the high note on all of the other news.
Yeah, that was a little silver lining. All right. Keep us posted. Mark Tibbetts over there at Mount Holly. We'll go up north. Maybe